Hi, I'm Luna. Today I'm going to show you how to get this Valentine's look.
I start with a red lip liner. Winging out that eyeliner. Luna Domenika.
I'm starting with a bit of mixture of the Dior Face and Body and Tilbury Wonder Glow. This is to make it kind of a bit lighter and a bit more glowing, and also it makes it more like a tinted moisturizer. And I sometimes feel that the tinted moisturizers have quite a limited shade range. So this is a great way to kind of get more use out of a foundation. You wear it in different ways and also wear it as a tinted moisturizer. And I'm blending this all over the face with a blusher brush. This is just an old brush that I had for a while. I'm thinking about getting a new foundation brush because this is starting to shed some hairs. And this gives a very natural light coverage. And I'm focusing mostly on the parts where I get red, which is on my cheeks and a bit around the center of the face. And what are you guys going to do for Valentine's? I just think I'm going to take a bath, relax. I read in Vogue had an article about what you should do for Valentine according to your star sign. They said that my star sign should bathe in rose petals, which I thought sounded lovely, but I think it's a bit hard to find rose petals and perhaps a bit messy. But taking a bath in itself is just wonderful. But I also think that many people are going to do Zoom dates. And this makeup look is very natural, but it still look good on camera, which is great for Zoom and FaceTime. I'm going into my concealer. I'm using my Magic Away by Tilbury today and adding it around my nostrils, wherever I need a little bit more coverage. And I'm also applying a bit more around my mouth and cheeks and blending it in with my fingers. Here in Norway, Valentine's Day is going to be a bit special this year because it is the same day as Mother's Day, and also this year is the same day as a tradition we have is called fastelavn, which is actually the end of the time you are fasting, but no one is fasting anymore, so we just eat the bun filled with cream and jam. But it's not that often that Mother's Day and fastelavn is on the same day as Valentine's. But this year this happened because fastelavn is always on a Sunday. The same goes for Mother's Day, and I don't know, just ended up on the same day. And I'm also applying a bit on my nose or my scar and where I have a bit of redness. And I'm always like to prime my eyes before I go into eyeshadow. I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish 24-hour shadow primer. And you only need a small amount. I perhaps used a bit too much today. And I'm also applying a bit underneath the eye because I'm going to apply shadow underneath the eye, and I think that it lasts better. And today I'm going to use the Beauty Express by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm only using the brow powder. And I'm also going to use the spoolie from the brow powder pencil from Lancôme. I'm not going to use the pencil today, just the spoolie, because I couldn't find my other spoolies. And the brush I'm using with the powder is an angled brush. This also came in the kit. And I'm also only using the powder from the kit. And that powder can also be bought individually. I'm using the color Blonde, but she has tons of colors in her brow powders and also other brow products. And I have very fair brows, so a bit of color into them makes a huge difference. And I just put my fringe back before I go into my eyeshadow. And I'm using the Instant Eye Palette in Pillow Talk by Tilbury. And I'm using the Desk look and also the Date look. Starting with the Prime from the Desk look. And as you can see, this came out way dark. And that's what because I did a bit of a mistake. I had some black and red left on the brush from when I did the Joker look. And I have forgot to clean it. But I'm going to show you how to make it work. And you can still get this look only using this palette because this shade that came out from the black and the red mixed with the Pillow Talk is very similar to the shades in the Date Eye, the darkest two shades in the Date Eye. And I'm just going to blend it. As you saw, I used a bit of color sweeper, which I probably should have done before. If you just blend it with a clean brush and add a bit of lighter shade on top, you can kind of save the look. And I think that is important to do because in real life we can't start over all the time. We simply just don't have the time. And at the end of the day, it's just makeup. It washes off. And I'm going back into the bit lighter shade from the Desk Eye and blending it. And those kind of pinky browns are very beautiful in my opinion. And I love to wear it for Valentine. And I've also seen that I have been very popular lately. And I'm taking a bit of this color also underneath the eye to balance everything. I think you should always take a bit of what you have on top of the eye down to underneath also because it makes it more balanced and also makes the eye look bigger. And now I'm using the enhanced shade from the Desk look. As you can see, it becomes more kind of terracotta pink. And for this look, I have been using the blender brush by Tilbury. In Sweden, they have a kind of other tradition when it comes to celebrating Valentine's Day. They call it the Alla hjärtans dag or Alla hjärters dag in Norwegian, which means All Hearts Day. And I think that's a kind of a sweet name. And I think if you want a bigger eye, to go quite heavy underneath the eye with a lot of mascara and also color from eyeshadow color will also just make your eyes look very big. And that's something I love. And then I go in with a blender brush. This is from Pat McGrath, and blend it. And these type of colors are beautiful on blue and green eyes, but also works wonderful on every eye color, in my opinion. And it's also very Valentine with a bit of pinkish brown and pink in general. And we've seen a lot of pink palettes lately. Then I'm going to curl my lashes. I always feel like you look a bit weird while you curl your lashes. I remember just scaring one of my ex-boyfriends when I was curling my lashes. And then I apply mascara. Today I'm going to go into the Monsieur Big by Lancôme. This just makes me think of Sex and the City and Mr. Big. I think that's the inspiration for the name, to be honest. But that's also a series that I love to rewatch on Valentine's. One of my favorite TV series. And I'm using the waterproof version, which probably is a good idea if you, for example, is going to watch a soapy love movie on Valentine's. And if you tend to cry when you watch those type of movies, or if you have runny eyes in general. Although it's a bit harder to take off, but as long as you have a good waterproof eye makeup remover, like the Lancôme Bisil or La Roche-Posay waterproof eye makeup remover. I got a bit of mascara on my lid, so I'm just going to scrape it away with the spoolie. And that's a great makeup trick for whenever you get mascara on your lid. And I'm just going to blend it to make sure there's no harsh edges after I scraped off the mascara. I would recommend you to wait till the mascara is dry before you scrape it. If you try to scrape it while it's still wet, it's just going to smudge everywhere. And I'm going to go back into concealer and conceal underneath my eyes. This concealer is quite hard to open, at least mine is, but I think that means it's airtight, I hope. And I always like to apply concealer after eyeshadow because I think it's much easier to know how much you need when you got color on your eyes, and also you can kind of clean up and you avoid fallout. And I pat it out with my ring finger, which is the weakest finger. I don't want to have too much pressure on the eyes because the skin is very delicate there. I heard it's around 5 millimeters, which isn't a lot. Then I'm going to go into my lipstick. I'm going to use Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. And as you can see, I've used a lot of this lipstick. I think perhaps this is one of the lipsticks I've used the most throughout my life. And I'm patting it on with my finger to make kind of a stain. This is such a beautiful Your Lips But Better. And they also have a Pillow Talk Medium and a Pillow Talk Intense if you want something in the same family but a bit darker. The contour, I'm going to go into the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. This is in the 2019 holiday packaging, which came with a mini powder and sculpt brush, which I'm using. You can't buy this anymore, but you can buy a similar kit with a mini powder and sculpt brush and also with some Swarovski crystals on the Filmstar Bronze and Glow, which was from the 2020 Christmas collection. And I also think she has a kit with the full-size powder and sculpt brush. And she also have a darker shade. I'm just going to nestle it into my cheekbones. This is great for kind of digital world because you create more structure. And I'm also applying a bit onto my nose, going down the sides, under the tip, and also a bit across. And I absolutely love to use it underneath my jawline, especially if I'm going to have a Zoom meeting or a FaceTime date, because this kind of takes away a bit of that double chin and makes me feel a bit more comfortable on camera. To blush, today I'm going to use the Moon Beach by Charlotte Tilbury in the Beach Stick. The color is Moon Beach and the product is Beach Stick. And I'm not sure if this is still available, but it's still available in the archive part on Charlotte Tilbury's site. So if you have a profile on Charlotte Tilbury, you can buy it even though it's not available anymore, I think. But this is very beautiful color. It's quite similar to Glowgasm by Charlotte Tilbury in the Peachgasm, the color, but the Peachgasm is far more of a glow, high shine, but this has a bit of glow, but not that much. It's very natural. And I'm also going to add a bit of the lipstick into the blush to make it kind of a bit darker in right under the apple. And also because I want to marry the entire look together and get that Pillow Talk look on my cheeks, lips, and eyes. I always think it's a good idea to use your lipstick also on the cheeks because then you completely sure that the blusher is going to match your lipstick. I'm going to go back into the Filmstar Bronze and Glow and using the powders and sculpt brush. This time I'm using the full-size brush. And I'm going to highlight. This is a very natural highlight. Just makes you look lovely, like you're in kind of a candlelight setting, which you might perhaps be on Valentine's Day, I'm not sure. But This is just very beautiful and also works well on mature skin. My mother loves it a lot. You can see it's very lovely natural glow. And the Filmstar Bronzer Glow is very natural, both the contour and the highlight. So you can kind of get away with using a lot. And your date won't think that you're using anything. To powder, today I'm using the Dior Nude Air. And I'm going back into my Pat McGrath blender brush because I want to apply it only underneath my eyes. And I make sure to pat out the concealer. Make sure it didn't crease before I go into the powder. And patting and sweeping it on to my under eyes. And to use an eyeshadow brush for powder is a good idea if you want to kind of more precisely powder. And a compact powder will also work well for this. Then I'm going to go into my pencil brush again and sweep off that color. And use my highlighter from Filmstar Bronzer Glow and applying it into my inner corner. And this will really make my eyes look bigger and brighter, and I love to highlight in the corner. It's kind of a Hollywood trick, and it makes your eyes look very doe-like. And you want to have intention to your eyes because your eyes are the window to the soul, and especially on Valentine's Day, that's where you want to kind of connect with people through your eyes. And that's kind of one of the favorite things to do when it comes to makeup. It really brightens the eyes and looks wonderful. And I'm also applying a bit more onto my lips and nose. Going into the Wayne Goss gloss in Antique Rose. This is a very beautiful color. It's one of my favorite lip glosses. It's just lovely, and it works so well over so many different lip colors and lip liners. And also I like to apply it a bit on top of my top lip, where I kind of highlight, because it kind of works a bit like a highlight. To finish off the look, I'm going into my brow gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a clear brow gel, and just setting my brows. So when the wind blows, they won't go anywhere. And there you have it. Finished look, just fixing my hair. And today I'm wearing two different types of earrings because I couldn't decide. I'm wearing the Snow Angel and the Tool Collection hammer. And I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's. Take care, and as we say in Norway, ha det bra. And I wish you all love and happiness.
I start with a red lip liner. I start with a red lip liner. Winging